Yeah. But they also, the things they complained about with Mayor Daley, the first Mayor Daley, the second Mayor Daley, uh, even Emmanuel, about just kind of like doing whatever they want. How do you keep that in check? Everyone complains about how the aldermen are rubber stampers for the last, well, modern history, but whenever the aldermen decide that there's something that they want to go against, then you jump on the alderman for not going with the mayor. So it's hard when the cry is always to do whatever the mayor asks. So I don't know. I don't know uh, where the aldermen stand in this, but I totally agree with Mays. I've been saying this forever. The aldermen should have organized themselves. The Black Caucus doesn't realize its own power. The outside forces always realize their power, but they also see that the Black Caucus never uses it. They people admire that the caucus can stick together and vote in a group, but there's nothing that they ever stick together on, so it doesn't really mean anything. And if they were going to stick together on something, it would be something like this. If they can get their 18, because I don't know, I'm not certain if all 20, because all the Black Caucus members, I don't know if everybody's in the Black Caucus, to be honest with you, because there's a couple of wards that are majority black. But if they can get 18 and then throw another, what do they need? 8 to stick with them, they can make their own deals. And you know what? After the vote's over and you've won, that's 4 years of being there. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks about it. Once the election's over, the election's over. So hey, they ought to do what they need to do. Now one problem might be, will everybody stick together if they can't get what they want?
But I'm saying, like, if you get finance, and then you set your own goddamn budget. You get finance, and you tell the budget director that we got budget and finance, we gonna set our budget, that what we set in the committees. I just think, like, man, it's so crazy to me, like, they don't have a spokesperson, so they need somebody to do communications. Oh yeah, but y'all went to Detroit for that dumb stuff, huh? Detroit or Klonsky? Take a moment, share the broadcast. Take a moment, share the broadcast. Golly, I look so scruffy. That white hair just shows up so crazy.
That's
Look
because
at
white
that.
hair wants to do what it was.
On the, like,
If white hair, if it would do what the rest of the hairs did, then you'd be like, oh, this is fine. But white hair is like, man, I'm gonna do what I want.
right, all the elasticity is gone from it.
Yes. It's like the white rhino is crazy, while the gray rhino is calm. That's just the way life is.
WVON weather now.
Ain't one in there.
Okay.
All right, y'all, take a moment, share the broadcast. What's it at, the 28th? It's that. Yeah.
Rise and shine with the WVON Morning Show. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Featuring Maze Jackson.
Do you understand the words that is coming out of my mouth?
The WVON Morning Show.
Dear Summer, I know you're gonna miss me.
Ooh, ooh, good. Ooh. What up, COINTELPRO? COINTELPRO ass niggas. You are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, in the building, but y'all know how we do at the top of the hour. Gotta say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, as well as the Wonder Twins, that's Sonia Escobar and Sonia Tompkins. Y'all, we are doing our thing. You know what? It's just summertime already, so when does summertime happen? Y'all wearing y'all white
No,
shirt?
it's not summer quite yet. We have until like the June 20th, I think it is.
June 20th. All right, well, you know what? Come on, June 20th. Come on, summertime, because it's a little chilly outside. Todd, I'm going to be moving around a little bit. I'm going to be jumping around because we done talked a lot about a lot of stuff that's going on. First of all, it seems like right now, the absence of black power, it's like we have it, but we're not exercising it.
Right.
So, City Council, let me start here. I'm going to start because at 7 o'clock I talked about the Black Caucus in Springfield. Y'all, it's the 31st, the end of the year, is the end of the legislative calendar is rapidly approaching, and we have not heard about what is in it for the black people on some major issues. J.B. Pritzker yesterday got his quote-unquote fair tax passed, so it will be heading to voters, telling that we'll be able to pay more in taxes. They say it's the rich, but we sure don't know how it plays out in 5 years from now when they still haven't figured out enough money. Then you talk about tomorrow in the city council, we'll find out if Mayor Lightfoot will get her way. So even in the face of $500 million in police settlements, mainly of black people being killed, the single most important position to stopping police violence against black people is to cut off the money. We have basically abdicated the position of finance chair, although black people have 20 votes and only need to get 6. And I'm telling you, I talked to Alderman Brian Hopkins. I'm telling you, y'all know I be giving Brian Hopkins the business, and he was like, Maze, I'd love to come on your show. But he was like, I don't understand it. I mean, I think you guys could have it. You guys could really take the finance committee and you could win. But it will require you guys to stick together, and, well, you know how that goes. Right? Then, let me just remind you that later this week, they're anticipated to pass the legalization of cannabis, in which more white people will become billionaires. Expansion of gambling, sports betting, as well as casinos. Now, I just saw an article, shout out to State Senator Emil Jones III, who said he ain't signing off on nothing unless black people get in the gaming industry. But I'm just figuring out, like, how they gonna get somebody in the gaming industry this week? Don't this seem like something should have been on the whole time? Like I feel like the plan should have been like when y'all. This is how it should work. Don't come to me. Remember when black people was like in control, and they would be like, "Don't come, hey white boy, don't come see me without nobody black." Remember Emma Jones said,
That's right.
"Don't y'all come see me unless y'all got somebody black with you." And then black folks started doing
and they
better.
never even thought about it until he said it.
And then let me tell you, but then when he said it, they didn't do it. They didn't show up without it. Without him.
No.
Then he left, and guess what? Black people back at the end of the hallway, still waiting. This, let me tell y'all, this right now, black. This is the week that black. This is the make or break week for all the black lobbyists, cause this is when all the white guys come around after they done made millions of dollars all session, hundreds of thousands of dollars all session. Then they walk around to the black people and say, "Hey y'all, we got about $5,000 for you. If you go give me a vote." Hear that? And then everybody gets their scrap money right now. No big black lobbyists at the weed table. No big black lobbyists at the gambling table. But I'm going to tell y'all where they are at. They underneath the table right now picking up crumbs. Picking up crumbs. Black caucus. It's going to be a report card coming out of this legislative session. You know, I have, and I'm going to say this. Because I told some members of the black caucus that my goal is not to tear them down, but to help build them up. But I'm going to tell y'all got to show something. Don't talk to me about all these leadership positions. We got people in exec and appropriations and chairmans of this and that and leads. And I'm just telling you, with all these big old titles, show me the money. Where my paper at?
Right.
Don't come back here and talk about, look, can I tell you what, man? Arnie Duncan Arnie Duncan was like, I want $100 million myself. That Arnie Duncan want that part. No shade to Arnie. So what we asking for? Oh. We waiting for them to tell us what we gonna get. Dang nabbit. All right, let's go to the phone lines. And then on top of that, y'all don't even want to be in charge of the money in city council. We gonna let Lori Lightfoot give it to the white guy up north. And when somebody goes to him and says, "How do you feel about the financing of murders?" He's gonna be like, we're gonna have to cut the cost of black death down from 5 million to 1 million. Can't be paying all this money for these black kids getting killed. Dark nabbit. What were they gonna do anyway? Just keep them out of my neighborhood. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Mr. Hope. Mr. Hope, you on Talk Chicago 1690.
Good morning, Maze.
Good morning.
You know, it's been 50 years since blacks started getting elected in power positions in major cities across America, and it's been a widely accepted practice to give the finance, treasurer, purse strings to whites. It was true for Mayor Jackson in Atlanta, Coleman Young in Detroit, Hatcher and Gary, and it's certainly been true in Chicago. Nothing's going to change. That's my comment.
Dang, Brother Hope, Dr. Hope, that was not hopeful. You made me feel like a penny with a hole in it. Just hopeless. Let's go to Sister Zakia. Sister Zakia, you've been holding on for an hour. Come on.
Yes, that's right. And good morning, Mace, and good morning, Todd.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think Mayor Lori Lightfoot was prepared mentally, and I think she's serious about this situation of shootings in our community. But the police department wasn't. Why? Because a lot of them are not even trying to protect the black community anyway. And they are already upset with her because she didn't select one of them for her personal security, and they pouting that that's part of their payback, so they don't give a care. Common sense. Let me give you an example, because we were discussing this yesterday. The shooting over there in Avila Homes on 13 and Loomis, that's not Little Italy. 13 and Loomis is at Avila Homes, okay? The shooting over there, that's CHA property. After the first shooting, the police went on away because they didn't care no way, because they were probably all white. Why didn't they assign the CHA car, a couple of 3 cars to circle the block, or sit a car on the corner or around the corner or in the block somewhere to watch and be observant of that group? CHA policemen. Or do they still have CHA policemen? If they do, common sense should have told them to call the CHA policemen to be out there, and that could have prevented that. Now, if I can think of that, and others that I talked with about this, common sense, trained policemen should have known to do that. So I don't think these police going to work with her because of, her not selecting them, and because they don't care anything about black people. We got to get busy with our own problems and solve our own problems.
Thank you, Sister Zakia. Let me go to Linda. Linda, you on Talk Chicago? Quick.
Good morning, WVON Village.
Good morning, my sister.
Listen, common sense everybody don't have, or used to have, don't have no more. Because, see, a lot of people think they got a diploma on the wall, they have arrived. That do not make you arrive. What Lori need to do is come to the village. What WVON need to do is get with Lori and call a town hall meeting in the village. She need to hear from the people in the village who live in the village. Policemen don't live in the village. They stay away from the village. They don't even live in the village. They try not to be part of the village. Call a meeting in the village with the people so you can get the right understanding as to what's going on out here, because right now it's just a cover-up deal, and you can't see too clearly because there's too much blue in the way.
Thank you, Linda. Look, when we come back, we're going to finish this up. Plus, we're going to talk about Donald Trump calling out yo boy Uncle Joe. And don't forget, y'all, we got Common. He'll be back talking about his show, the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. Plus, we're going to find out a little bit more of that 87th Street history. It's Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back after traffic and the weather.
More of the morning show.
Todd?
I was just catching up on where the shootings were.
Little Italy is what they going to change the ABLA to.
Nah, I don't think so. ABLA is ABLA. They're not kicking those people out because CHA owns them. Far south is Roseland, as far north as West Rogers Park. That's pretty much the whole city in some ways. But of course, I'm sure it was, it was in the high poverty, gang activity, illegal drug sales areas. 400 West 77th Street. It's like, see, it's halfway. Halfway to Halsted on 77. People got shot at 1:30 a.m. Gunfire just north of Douglas Park. Yeah, so many shootings, they can't really even put all of them on a regular old article. Who got shooting where? Got shot and where? Man, I need to go down to Springfield. Pick up some crumbs so I can pay for tuition or something.
Y'all ready? Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready.
There's going to be some interesting things happening. Very interesting.
Nah. Oh no. Everlasting love. Yeah. Lasting love. Yeah. Don't mean a thing. Shouldn't we real? You would always lift me up. When I found the blue door, everlasting love. You are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger in the building. And Todd,
Maze.
I just don't understand. I don't understand why it seems to be an issue for black people to take their power when they have it. I was talking to somebody and
Wait, but is the issue with who? Black people or everybody else?
I think the issue is with black people.
Mm-hmm.
I think the issue with black people is that we are so used to being punished that we are so used. Like, I feel like right now, with 20 black members in the city council, I talked to a Chicago alderman. I talked to a white alderman who was like, "Hey man, the reality is y'all are in the catbird seat. Can nobody move without y'all?" He was like, "Man, y'all could pick the finance chair, and I would tell you that you got probably about 10 to 12 aldermen that would ride with you if the Black Caucus stuck together. But y'all got to do it." Now, I always think, like, one of the things I was talking about this is, how do you get past the personality issues? And I feel like Mayor Lightfoot was smart enough to play on the personality issues that essentially pit the black people against each other.
Right.
And then we wound up with, how do you gain voting power and lose actual power?
That's because they say, no matter what your numbers are, they always give you this piece. They say, "Oh, here's your piece. This is what you get to choose from." And you always say, "Thank you for that piece." And you don't look at the rest of the pie.
And so I think with right now, with the issues that face the black community, what better way to establish trust with the black community but to put black people in charge of the money getting spent? Think about $500 million in police settlements. All the white guys approved them. How many times do you think that they went by and said, "Oh, just another Negro, give him five. How do you think that they decided how much money Negroes got for getting killed? Did you think they said, how much money is wealthy for, you put $5 million in front of black folks, they done. They ain't never gonna fight you. $5 million? Can I get that in cash?" And then you never hear about these police murders. You never saw it. Did you ever see a police murder case go to trial? Besides Jason Van Dyke? Think about $500 million. They spend your pension liability. You are paying a police murder property tax increase, and nobody says a word. And I'm saying that I would have thought that Mayor Lightfoot would have been sensitive to that issue and said, "You know what, Scott, we got to ask you to stand down right now. You do realize that all of these, we're going to give you budget. You do the budget. We're going to put," even it could have been Pat. I'm not the biggest Pat Dow fan. But why do we take second place when we got first place numbers? So you run a 4-5 but they treat you like you ran a 5-4. Does that make sense? I guess I'm crazy. John, you on Talk Chicago 1690.
Good morning, Brother Mays.
Good morning, John.
Let me say this here. You hit on a good point, because my claim is this. I'll say this. It's not only the legislator, it's also our executive. There hasn't been an executive who has been pro-black, unimpeded, who pushed that agenda since John Stroger. And my whole point is that Lori Lightfoot, as an executive, if she sat up there and handed this to white folks, there's part of the problem right there. We got the executive seat and 20 legislative seats, and it seems like it's the same old, same old. And, I don't even know why it would be so great to get an African-American executive if all he's going to do is sell us down the river.
Amazing grace. So, I'm 100%. See, I'm telling y'all we about to get Obamaized. We're going to get Obamaized. I think Lori might have got me. Mayor Lightfoot might have got me. When she said that whole, pass me not, O gentle Savior. And I was like, oh, she know the song. Then this came. Did you think she hit us with a Negro spiritual hymnal? And then she gave us the hymnal and gave Scott Wagensback the finance committee? You think black folks gonna go for that hymnal? I'm just saying. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Kamika. Kamika, you on the Talk Chicago 1690. Did we go for a hymn instead of the power?
Well, I got a problem with black people rallying behind Democratic candidates all the time. It's the same thing. It's like, just because you're Democrat, and if you got any type of brown skin, we just gun ho and go sign up for that. And I don't understand. And then as soon as they start making mistakes, we start making excuses, and I don't understand that. I was, when I heard that comment earlier today, I was like, are you kidding me? Was she surprised? I mean, come on, really? Did you really say that out loud in public? I don't get that. But my comment was about the police officers. That's what I was calling for. I think the problem is they're not being held accountable. Still, they're getting off with the justice system, the criminal system, and then they're getting off financially. If they allow people to physically sue the officers that, wrongful death lawsuit, if they're paying it out of pocket, then I think that'll slow it down. Like, take their pensions or something. Do something to punish them. It's just like a child. If a child goes unpunished or unchecked, they're going to keep doing what they're going to keep doing. And this is what's happening. It's like we're paying them. We're footing a bill. We're paying a cost anytime this happens. When they pay them out tax money, we're paying for it, and that's unchecked. They're not. There's like no punishment. They get them a slap on the wrist, and then the same stuff continues to happen.
And raise our taxes.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about. We have to pay for it. I mean, how is that you're punishing the citizens now?
Right. First of all, thank you for your call, Kamika. We wind up paying that money. See, Todd, this is what scares me about black when we get the top spot. Is the black folks get convinced that once they got the top spot, that they can't give those top spots out to other black folks. Mayor Lightfoot, to me, is sending a signal by putting Alderman Wagensback in the position of finance committee chair. It's like I'm concerned that she feel like she the only smart person, the only smart black person, right, in that spot. We need someone that is going to fight for us. I don't know if Scott Wagensback is sensitive to the police violence issue beyond the fact of how much it costs. Like, if he can drop the cost of a police settlement from $5 million to $1 million for killing a black person, that's a win for him. That's not a win for us. And I just don't know if we are playing smart, y'all. It's like we ain't taking nothing off the table. It's like we pushing and saying, we got the numbers, we the goons, but we still saying, how much can I have, sir? More porridge, please, sir. More porridge, please, sir. Look,
always that way.
Let's talk. Look, y'all, when we come back, they just told me Common called and canceled. That's all right, because I'm going to take y'all calls. I know y'all got something to say now. Y'all don't, what's the matter? Y'all probably, the cat got y'all tongue too? Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it all when we come back.
Live from WVON.
But that's how it was always like that in Springfield, you know. They wanted us to vote on all the tax increases, but it wasn't like we got anything special. It was like, well, you know, you guys need taxes more than anybody else. Now
Right, we gotta pay for
it.
your welfare program.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, that's how they acted. And if we didn't vote on the taxes, then it was like, well, why didn't you guys do it? You know? You get all kind of people not voting. But we had to follow the company line, without me saying the company line. You know? You just do what they told you. This is the plan we decided for you. No, I never liked it. We, I remember one year we didn't vote for the tax plan they had for public schools. The caucus and the House, well, the whole caucus and the Senate decided that we wanted some kind of tax swap, like Reverend Meeks was talking about, actually. A tax swap where your property taxes would go down for, I can't remember what the other portion was, I don't know, what was it, increase in the income tax or whatever. So we voted no on that and voted yes on the other issue, or maybe the other issue didn't even come up, I don't remember. But the Senate changed, and President Jones decided he was going to go with that. So the Senate, all Democrats voted that way. The House Democrats voted no, and it failed. And then it was up to us to come back and vote on it again so it would pass, even though that's not what we wanted. We wanted a property tax switch, which I think that most people in the state probably would have been in favor of if it actually had happened. But you know, we were fighting. It was kind of fighting alone. There was no outcry. The press tends not to follow the black legislators, so it's not like we had anybody writing favorable stories for us. We had to come back and acquiesce so there would be funding for the schools, because it boiled down to the Republicans weren't going to change, so we had to change. And we're always supposed to change.
They be like, okay, they always be like, they don't, let me tell you, in Springfield, they don't, I can't speak now, but I tell you when I was there, they would be like, they would start with the black caucus. They like, we got them. The white boys would put on their paper, okay, we start with 21 because we got the black caucus. Now, who do we have to convince? And they would be like, the black caucus, we'll just tell them to tell such and such to get on. And once the speaker tells them to get on, they'll get on. Now, I got to go convince all the white guys. How much money? So that's why I would have to get paid to take the whole black caucus. And then the white guys will go get paid to do I get $5,000 for the whole caucus. White boy get $5,000 for one member. And I'm going to tell you the only reason the mayor get a pass, been getting a pass, is because of my boy AB. If AB wasn't on the team, let me tell y'all, no, that's how they think of it. So, like, think about this. All these white companies are down in Springfield right now telling all of the black legislators they got to make their money back before anybody else can get in the game. Never mind that they have become publicly traded companies where they're getting stupid investments and they're getting, as soon as this thing goes legal, they're going to get rich. These fools are coming down here. They ain't even got no black people working for their companies now in leadership positions. None. They not concerned with equity. Equity is a byproduct that is being forced upon them. And I'm telling you, we get caught up.
That's historic, too. It's not like that just started yesterday.
Right.
Equity comes through force.
And they got 100, they think 100, so and look, they wow us with dumb Negro numbers. So they say, we'll give y'all $100 million. We be like, ooh, that's a lot of money. until you realize that every one of them companies is going to be making $100 million a month, right? And they're going to be making it straight out your ass out of your community.
And that 100 million is a one-time thing spread out over all the state.
Right. So now y'all get some neighborhood opportunity groups.
Maybe they hire an extra person.
Are you ready for the time of your life? It's alright, it's alright, it's alright. One by one. Stand up, stand up. I'm to show you the world can see. Used to be. Oh, every woman, every man, join the caravan of love. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Everybody take a stand. Join the caravan of love. Stand up. You are tuned in to the Top of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Todd, you know what? Common was supposed to be with us. He's canceled, so we're going to keep on talking about this topic. Look, Todd, I fundamentally want the black community to come together. I was talking to some legislators this week, and I said, hey, legislators, if y'all deliver, then we'll get y'all back. But if y'all don't deliver, if we don't see a couple billion, and I'm not talking about a couple $1 billion on the table set aside for black folks, I think we're going to have a problem, y'all. Y'all are making everybody but your own rich. But I'm going to say this. I got faith. I think with 4 days left, we're going to catch up. But let me do this. May is Health Awareness Month. And Todd, did you know that bananas have a natural antacid effect on the body? So if you suffer from heartburn, try eating a banana or soothing relief. Now, this healthy tip is brought to you by Resurrection University. See what Res U can do for you. Start your career now at Resurrection University.
Eat one as soon as I leave.
I eat a banana every morning.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I told you I get nervous though when I pick it up at Dunkin' Donuts, cause like I hate white people to look over at me eating a banana and they be like, oh, ha 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 ha, and I be like, don't get whooped around. Right. All right, y'all. So here's where I'm at right now. I want black people to stop for a moment and consider what happens if all of our parts start working together. Right? So I'm bringing all of this attention to the issues that are going on in Springfield, and I'm bringing all the attention to these issues that are going on in the city council, not in a hope to divide, but in a hope to unify. Right? I want black people to recognize that if you don't kick your own elected officials' butts, but go collaborate and say, here's what we need, then maybe we can get somewhere. But black elected officials, y'all, it's time out for y'all coming back to us with a pet. Like, we know how to count. We understand power. We understand you have it. You got to understand you have it. And when you use that power for the benefit of black people, then that's when black people will start to stand up and get behind you. Now, let me just help you out. If you are the finance committee chair you can raise a hell of a lot of money and be in an activist position. Because the financial people, they don't want to be talking about these police settlements. So guess what they're going to do? Whatever they got to. Because they don't want the money to stop. But how about this? Could you imagine the finance committee chair saying, hold on. No more TIFs. No more multi-billion-dollar corporate aid. None of that until business community, y'all chip in on helping us solve this issue. How about if the finance committee chair told the law department, ain't no more settling these lawsuits out of the finance committee. We gonna finance the prosecution. Imagine if, as the CPD was going in and trying to negotiate for their police contract, if they knew that there was no city protection or settlement fund to protect their murderous officers. Can I tell you how quickly those negotiations would change? If you know that the person that is negotiating with you is really on your team, then do you really think that police fear killing someone black? But Black Caucus, this ain't a diss. This is not a diss to Mayor Lightfoot. This is a pledge to the black community. Really. I'm not asking you to defy Mayor Lightfoot, and Mayor Lightfoot should be, of all people, if she talking about violence as her legacy, then put somebody black in. Somebody black who will say no. Why do I feel like sometimes I be talking to myself? Why do I feel like me asking black people to assume our power is offensive to black people in power? Why can I not want the most? Why can I not want us? I want to look at my legislator and be like, that's my legislator. That's my alderman. Could you imagine turning on the TV and an alderman saying, we're not settling this, and city fight the case? If the FOP wants to defend it, we got way more resources than them. We gonna put, instead of putting $5 million on this case, we're gonna put $5 million to get the bad police out of our place. But I'm crazy. Let's go to the phone line. Am I crazy, Todd?
No, you're not crazy. Not on this.
Let me go to Lewis. Lewis, Show 'em Talk Chicago, 1690.
Good morning, Mace. Good morning, Todd.
Good morning.
You simplified it as best as you could, but we also have a saying in Chicago on the streets that just because they look like you, that don't mean that they represent you.
Like COINTELPRO. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And so my comment is with that is we have Lori Lightfoot, but she kept the same cabinet that Ronnie Emanuel had. Eddie Johnson, Janet Jackson, and this other guy that's in charge of housing. And what this guy in charge of housing is doing, he's sitting on $500 million of federal funds for housing. Janet Jackson is closing, she's closing 5 schools in the Inglewood area and combining them into one school. But then on top of that, she's only letting the freshmen come to this new super school. So what's supposed to happen to the sophomore, the juniors, and the seniors of these 5 schools you just closed? And then you got to remember, she was there when they closed those 50 schools. And then on Eddie Johnson, he doesn't believe in police, community policing. And then about that, this state bill where they supposed this not the flat tax, but this progressive tax, you said it as best as you could, that they're going to go after anybody that's $250,000 and up. And like you say, that's not a millionaire or a rich person. They going after the people that they pay these high pensions to.
You're right.
So that they can recoup their money. Because if you remember, they tried to take it to court where they was trying to adjust those pensions for the state and for the city. and the court said you couldn't do that.
You're right.
So now they got to come up with some money for this big pension.
I gotta stop you right there, my brother Lewis, but you are 100% right. See, I think that we all knew, I think if you look at the election, you already knew that Mayor Lightfoot didn't start in our community. She started somewhere else.
Right.
We have all jumped on board because she was not Tony Preckwinkle, President Tony Preckwinkle, but we never did a vetting. We never found out who, what, where, when, why. And so we all just jumped on the boat. And now, when we jumped on the boat and started taking selfies, did you ask before you took a selfie, what's your plan with the finance committee to stop them from paying all these settlements? What did you talk about with Scott Wagerspack regarding police settlements and your role in the police contract negotiations? Did you ask any of that before y'all was jumping on board? Again, I'm not tripping on her, but I'm saying, what did we ask for ourselves? Let's go to Ann. Ann, you want to talk Chicago? Ann, come on. All right, Ann, we got to come back to you. We'll talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back after traffic and the weather.
May is Health Awareness Month. Fact, the DASH eating plan is a simple, heart-healthy diet that can help.
Yeah, we're just learning. We're learning about the mayor because she doesn't have any real past history. So, I mean, we don't know exactly what she's like. And even when people do have a past history, the press tends not to really talk about it much. So, we'll know her as she goes along. And in that, you gotta hold people feet to the fire because you have to have something you want. And I think that's what you can talk about all day. What it has the legislators, the Black Caucus, the City Black Caucus, what if they said that they want, before the horse leaves, and we're like, wait a minute, we want a seat on the train. No, the train's full, here, we'll give you a cushion. We gotta be, how many days? Yes, Saturday is the 31st. I mean, these guys, for one thing, first thing you gotta remember, these guys want what they want, and they want it the way they want it. So that means you've got to be a hard ass to get what you want. Maybe that's why people are gonna dislike some people. But I was a hard ass. I knew what I wanted, and I knew what you wanted. And sometimes what you wanted wasn't what I wanted. So we had to be at odds on that. But there's always tomorrow, because there's always something else, especially in Springfield. There's always something else coming up. But it's like you're saying, like with this, the Lincoln vote. He wants his thing. He's more important. That's more important to him than Scott Weisbach, I bet. And there's a lot of stuff like that. You have to play everybody for what is important to them to get what's important to you. Do we do that or don't we? I don't know. I think sometimes we just don't feel powerful, and in that we act like we're just one of the team members. We're in the team picture. We're just a backbencher, so that means you don't ask for a lot of stuff. You become what you think you are. There's a joke that one of the legislators said many moons ago that he got the flu, he got gout. This is a pretty old thing. He got diphtheria, he got everything but the speaker's out. And we act like that's supposed to be the way it is. And that we can't demand things out of the leadership. And we also got this whole feeling that if we speak on our own, that we will be castrated.
Or offend someone else, and nobody gives a flying frick about offending us.
Yeah, and you gotta realize that sometimes you're gonna be on the other side. And hey, if they're mad at you, so be it.
Right.
If you can go back to your people and say, look, man, this is what I was fighting for.
Can I point out that, do you know that the Asians are doing that to Kim Dubucle right now? Like trying to punish her for standing up for her community.
True.
That for Kim Dubucle, they're
Oh.
trying to punish her now. So you got
Oh, I'm sure they are.
but you got the progressives in the Asian community trying to step up and punish her for supporting black folks, regardless of, and not supporting black folks, but supporting the more qualified candidate. And it's like they threaten and punish her, but still get to walk around our neighborhoods like it's all good.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like they get to be talking smack, plotting against us, but then
They
black
not
folks be
support
like,
them.
she come out, they can come out and be cool. No, hell no.
That's
You
right.
cross us, you cut.
That's
And
what
we
it's
can
for.
count. And go run and tell somebody else I said that too.
Right. Then when you come in our area, and it's our job.
Mercy.
Oh my God.
Bye. Holy Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry. Whoa, why on others thou art calling? Do not pass me by. Do not pass me by. Oh. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Hey, y'all. Billions of dollars. Look, check this out. Think about this. $500 million in pension, in police fund settlements. But we pass up the chairman of the finance committee. You got the Illinois fair tax being passed, and we don't know how do black people benefit from that. We got cannabis on the table. We got casino gambling and video gaming on the table. I got that one, Cliff. On the table. As well as we got a capital bill on the table. Will we be passed by again? You know, I'm going to tell you. When Lori Lightfoot said she knew the words to Pass Me Not, O Gentle Savior, she almost got me with the Obama. She almost got me with the me. You know, hit the Negroes with a song and dance. And I'm going to get a cash to the white folks. But y'all, I don't want us to get passed by. They already talking about remaps and everything else. There will probably be no time when we have this much power. But yet and still, we are going to ask for a savior and pray that they don't pass us by instead of being soldiers and taking our peace. Look, y'all. Let's talk Chicago. Let me go to Tyrone. Tyrone, you want to talk Chicago?
How you doing, brother?
I'm all right.
All right, listen. You know what? You right. Lori didn't start with us. She started with Mayor Massadale. She gonna end with Massadale. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because Ron was put in by Massadale, and Lori is being put in by Massadale. And what I'm gonna say to you is this here, is that when I was traveling through Chicago yesterday, I noticed on the north side you had police on every other block. Where the tourist district is downtown, you had police. When you go on the west side and the south side, you didn't see no police. Eddie Bojangles Johnson and Lori Pippi Longstock, Lightfoot, They need to go. Listen, we have to put up a protest and let folks know that if they don't give us nothing from the cannabis, our boys ain't gonna have none of that. They can't come over here and sell weed and ain't gonna help us get rid of all those felonies that they gave our children. We gonna have to put a stop to this mess.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't think if them weed shops ain't black owned in our neighborhoods, they shouldn't be able to open them up. Real talk. Let's go to Rick. Rick, you on the Talk Chicago 1690.
I think that the black community set forth their position with the election with Willie Wilson. See, he galvanized. What was his offense? He was giving out money to black people. And they got on him. They jumped all on him. And he said, I'm tired of white folks telling me what to do. Now, that generation of politicians he came up for, a lot of people, we have to look at the demographics. A lot of people came to Chicago because they had to flee the South because they weren't taking it. So we got to get that attitude of not taking it anymore. And these politicians are accommodation. They don't have it. They have no problem with white folks telling them what to do.
Now my question becomes, because Willie was our person at the table, where's he at? Where was he this weekend? So I'm gonna tell you, you got to pay. It costs to be the boss. And if you have assumed the position of our spokesperson, leader, representative in the Lightfoot administration, I got to understand, why didn't we get financed? Like, how did black folks how did black folks get more spots, get more elected positions, and get less power? Willie, we looking at you now. I want to know, who is Lori talking to? Shout out to my boy Anthony Beckham, who saved up from a lot of craziness. But I need to understand, who are these white folks that are talking to her? Let me go to Ann. You got the last call. Ann? All right, Ann, you are now officially gone. Look, y'all, this is the WVON morning show. I want to build a relationship with the wealth of this state. See, I hear y'all telling me, I hear all the bait and switches. I hear, this is going to be good for all of us, everybody. But what is in it for the black people? You are going to open up a capital bill, billions. That's labor. That's unions. You gonna open up casinos, so we gonna make Neil Bloom and FanDuel rich again. We gonna make them re-rich. Then you got cannabis. White boys talking about they gotta get their money back first, cause they invested. We invested. We paid for all this infrastructure off the backs of black folks, and then y'all just let JB pass y'all fair tax. Fair for who? Cause I still ain't seen it come back. I got black committeemen who stood up still saying, I ain't heard from JB since I was at the press conference. Black folks, let's stop being lollipops. Look, for Annette Flournoy in the newsroom. For the Wonder Twins, Sonia Escobar and Sonia Tompkins. Hey, and I see a radio legend in the booth. I'm going to keep that a surprise. For my co-host, Todd Stroger, I am the host of the WVON morning show, Maze Jackson. If you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace. All right, y'all. Want to pay to be the boss? Cost to be the boss. Look, y'all. Huh?
It does. Cost to be the boss.
Cost to be the boss. It ain't sexy.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's all